Hi guys, welcome back to Let's Talk About It with Courtney. I am your host, Courtney Carroll. Welcome to my office here in Washington State. I'm a licensed therapist in both North Carolina and Washington. If you're unfamiliar, I'm also a life coach, relationship coach, whatever that would mean for you at that time. And we are on episode 10, and I am so excited to be here. If you are seeing my shirt, Go Mariners, I am so ready. And I'm very excited about that. So I had to represent today. And I think that kind of ties into what I want to talk about this week. I've kind of unfolded my life a lot with y'all. Let's be real. The first 9 episodes, I'm sure some of it was like exciting and sharing and completely vulnerable. And you're hearing a lot about what's been wrong with my life and the challenges I've gone through, which I'm so honored to share, if I'm being honest. Like, there are times in my life for certain where I thought those hard days would never end. And if you've been there, I've been there. Whether that was a child watching my mom fight addiction and then losing her in a way I never expected to fast forward to just being a teenager and how hard that is, and blending families, step parents, and all the things that come along with that, to going to high school, college, getting married, and honestly going through the things I've told you about already: infidelity, cheating, growing up together, and moving. I was a flight attendant, if I haven't mentioned that, and just like a lot of ups and downs in life. And someone recently complimented me, and part of me still goes to this, I don't mean to brag. I gotta stop that. I hope you stop too. One of my favorite compliments I got recently, and I don't think I've mentioned this, was from a friend's mom. I hadn't seen her in a long time. And she goes, "You know what, Courtney? What I have to say is my favorite thing about you is," I was like, "Sure. What is it?" Because I kind of just caught her up on breaking up with my fiance, figuring out these next step with the house situation, which is kind of a nightmare. And, the last couple years since I haven't seen her. And she goes, "My favorite thing about you is you still have such a heart of gold." I'm like, what? My heart is still good. My heart is pure. And I know that on any good day that I have a good heart. Nothing I put out into the world or work with clients and is ever out of anything bad. I literally ask for the highest and best for anything I do. And I never want any content put out there to harm someone, hurt someone, but there is consequences to truth. And I never want to come out of an angle like that. And despite my heart being hurt throughout the years, besides having to start over and start over and start over, what a compliment that despite everything life has thrown at me, my heart is still good. It hasn't hardened. I've had hardened days. I've had days where I didn't have much to give. And those are the days that are literally just for my daughter. And that's at my capacity. But there are a lot of days as a therapist, coach, and friend, and daughter, and aunt. I love all these roles that I have in my life. But there are days where I give, and and they fill my cup too, especially my small humans in my life. I love being an aunt and a mom. But what is the one thing I can see in all the darkness and in everything dark is that goodness prevails. Even though I went through everything I went through, I'm still a good person. No one can take that from me. I've created boundaries where maybe people haven't liked, but that is the reality of the situation. I have enforced consequences like divorce and details of that as boundaries for myself to not be treated a certain way anymore. But other than that, I'm still a good person. And this session isn't about me being a good person or who I am, but I also think we all go through really hard things. I have the best job in the whole world. I get to sit with people that trust me. And what a gift that is, by the way. I don't take that lightly. To tell me the hardest things about what's going on, not with their life, their past, their history, and we get to work through it. And something that's really coming to light for me in September, and I think it's going to be like a fall thing, a fall season, if you will, is what good can come from all this stuff? How can I find joy in the darkness? And like, I'm pushed a lot this week. September has pushed me, if I'm being honest, and a lot of my clients. But how do you pay all these bills? I have clients asking me that. How do I communicate with that person? Or do I quit my job? Do I do this? Like, Courtney, my parent is sick, and I'm feeling like the most exposed I've ever been. How could all of that be, not just for a reason, but how do I find good in that? What do I do with that? And that's where I love my job. If I hadn't gone through every hard thing, I would not be able to help people going through hard things. I don't think there's many therapists out there that I know of, or coaches, whatever that looks like for you, that have not gone through hard things. And that's why they wanted to be a helper, why they sought out a career or a job to want to help people. There's no way. And if they had, I know I wouldn't know how to relate to them, if I'm being honest. I just wouldn't. But the fact is, we do go through hard things. And sometimes I push my clients, and myself included. But what happens after this? What can I do with this? What good can come from this? What good? And my dad's had open heart surgery, stents, and everything. Even though I moved across the country and ended a relationship when I got here, and just thought, what was the point of this? A week later, my dad was ill and had to go back to the hospital, and I was home. The good out of that situation of moving home was being near my family to support them, to hug my dad. Whereas if I would have been on the other side of the country, I wouldn't have been able to do. And if you've ever done that, it's like the most powerless feeling in the world, is being like a world apart and not being able to help. And I have my hands near them now. And I've had clients that go through not knowing how to make their own bills. And yet they're paying for therapy, they're showing up, they're doing the thing, they go to work, they put their head down, they're doing everything. Courtney, what good can come from experiencing this part of financial situation? The truth is, I don't have all the answers. But sometimes I think the universe or life challenges us to look at things and kind of do some self-introspection. Why would it be a benefit to experience money struggles? God, that sits heavy with me. I've been there. Sometimes I'm still there, if I'm being honest. It's hard to do everything, even with a parent that supports, and having to be all on you. Or if you're single and there is no help, maybe you don't have any support system, and what do I do with that? Why am I experiencing this hardship? What kind of, I make that make sense. The math is not mathing, Courtney. Sometimes we have to experience money being lost to understand money being gained. Sometimes we have to trust ourselves by still pushing our business ideas, by still working hard, by still having a good heart, and knowing that anything I can tell anyone is you've always survived your last worst day. And I can't always find the answer right away, but it usually comes about 3, 6 months, max 9 months later. It's I wonder why that life experience happened and what I learned from it. What did this teach me? And that is what brings me joy. The joy I have in all my hardships is that it hasn't changed me, it's inspired me. There was once upon a time where I thought speaking my truth, sharing anything, including about my divorce or any type of embarrassment, dating after divorce, that sucked. And even talking about my most recent breakup this last spring, and how I thought I found the person, and I was how cool is it that I found my person after all that heartbreak? and then having my heart hurt again by ending that relationship. But what I do know is I am proud of being able to lead those things because I can lead others and encourage others. Like, it doesn't have to, like, your boundaries matter, your self-respect matters, being treated well matters, and that no one can take who you are away from you unless you let them. Joy can be stolen any day. Oh my gosh, the comparison is the thief of all joy, all sorrow, everything. I'm sure I've said this before. My clients are like, please, Courtney, I know what you think about that. If I consistently compare me to my exes, my sisters, my brothers, if I did that, do you think my heart would be light? If I compared my marriage to one of my best friend's marriages, she's still married, has beautiful kids, and a loving husband. I have the beautiful kid. I do not have that relationship. I have a financial struggle that's on me, and I don't have a partner. If I compared myself to my best friend, I would be so sad. And the thing is, I'm not in comparison with her. I'm not competitive against her. I'm with her. And I love that she has those great things. In fact, her marriage inspires me a lot. Her kids are gold. There is no way I can be around those kids and not smile, or even around her or her partner. Gosh, life is beautiful, even in the hard. And I think we get lost. That gets lost in translation. That gets lost in the hard. We think we have to have everything make sense in the moment. The fact is, we have no control of that. Part of me is like, let's surrender to control, which is so hard. I'm a millennial. That is hard to do. And maybe that's hard for all the generations, but I can only speak for mine. And as a single mom, surrendering control, my job is to have whatever control I can to protect my daughter, if that makes sense. And the fact is, I'm not in control. I'm only in control in how I respond to things. And if I'm going to let this particular hard season get in the way of my life, what am I doing? And a lot of, I'm going to say friends and clients, this has been a big thing this month, is how do you go have fun, joy, without it costing money when you're trying to save money and you're doing all these things? I kind of dissect that a little bit, right? If my therapist asked me a couple months ago what even brings me joy, and outside of my daughter, and I was like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I lost that girl. And I was like, don't you need money to go spend? When am I even gonna get a babysitter? When am I gonna go do these things? And I was getting all these reasons not to go have fun. And then I started remembering, what did I enjoy when I go back to my young 20s, pre-kids and everything. What did I have for fun? I used to love hiking and being outside. That's free. It also brings me a lot of joy. I love me a waterfall. There's nothing that would probably bring me a bigger smile on my face than a beautiful waterfall gushing and kind of reminding me of how beautiful the universe is. I find joy in my animals. I am a crazy animal person. 2 dogs and 2 cats. They drive me crazy a lot, but I love watching them play and have fun, and I try to be present in that giggle. I have great friends. I get on a phone call, check in, and catch up, tell each other hard things, but also remind each other, what is the good that's going on right now? If I let everything that's happened to me, with me, from me, anything, and whether I contributed it to or not, if I let that really define me, where would I be? Probably in a dark room. And that's nowhere. I don't want to live there. Part of the reason why I sought out this podcast, and I've gotten on TikTok, and which I never thought I would, I just didn't know how to work it. It really, really intimidated me. Is I like making content that will help people. It brings me joy. I am loving, there's a train in the background, y'all. I'm so sorry. I do live near a train station, and I love hearing the train too. That's a funny thing. I do. I really do. I like living by trains. But where in my life can I see joy today? Do I have time to walk down the block just to ground myself and walk around? And then this is what goes into the joy and why my heart's kind of still lit up. kind-hearted is gratitude. And I'm not a typical therapist that is going to say write a gratitude journal and keep track of it, even though research has proven it is helpful. Starting your morning with gratitude. I recently brought this back into my life. Even though there's been stresses with my home and everything that's been going on with my ex-fiance, I am so grateful to have a roof over my daughter's head. I am grateful for a home. And I'm very well aware is a house is not a home. A home is with my daughter and myself and my animals. I am grateful for the blooming flowers that are out of nowhere. I am grateful for the colorful, brightness that fall brings. I know it's just an amazing season. Fall is so beautiful. I'm taking time to pause and really look at things and being grateful that, one, I have clients that look to me for advice and ask for help, or the clients that I used to have that would never reach out for help are now, if they have a rough week or something happens, they'll reach out and text me or call me. And how cool is that? How cool is it that every time we go through hard things, we persevere? There's something going on without fall. Everything needs to fall, but there's also some type of resurrection with it. Who are we? What did these things do to us? What shapes us? And I think this is a perfect season to breathe in the fresh, crisp air. We can finally go outside. It's not too hot. I'm kind of speaking to my North Carolina clients and friends out there. It's finally, the humidity's down. Be outside, be present, enjoy that cup of coffee, have gratitude for hot coffee, and really be in the moment. We are taught to be so busy. Just being on social media more right now is reminding me to take breaks from it, to pause. I try to only go on there a couple times a day, whether that's a post or a video, to follow different content, because I am building something right now and learning how, but also making sure I have an hour away from my phone. If you do not put your phone away for an hour, unless you're an on-call emergent, which you still can put away and have on loud, please do it. Go take a bath and have your phone nowhere near you. Go outside and put your feet in the grass barefoot and ground yourself. Feel it. There's so much beauty and joy in the world if we just open up our eyes. I know it sounds crazy. What are you talking about, Courtney? Don't you know what I'm going through? You specifically, unless we've had a session, I probably don't. Unless you're a close friend of mine or a family member of mine, I probably have no idea what you're going through. And I've been in that spot. My friends that have been with me, the easiest thing I can grab is my divorce. I've never been divorced, and they've never been divorced, and nor would I wish that upon them. But did they really understand? No. But the thing that we connect with everyone is truly having this connective force that we all go through hard things. And that can humanize us versus put us against competition. It's not supposed to make us competitive. It's supposed to bring joy and connection and love. And now my dogs are barking. I'm so sorry, y'all. This is my real life. You hear trains, you hear dogs, and you see me smiling. This would normally drive me nuts. How cool is it that I have dogs that bark and that are loud and obnoxious and fun? I might change my mind about this in 6 hours when I try to put my daughter to sleep. And then they're loud. But even in the darkness, can you seek out good? My darkest day, my daughter was a light post. And not because I relied on her, but it's just when you're around kids, they are just light. She was a reminder, not to give up. She's just special. I love her. If you have kids or nieces or nephews, you know what I'm talking about. And she doesn't bring me happiness. She contributes to my happiness, She's such a light force. And I get to know, I gave birth to her. I carried her. How cool is that? And although her dad and I aren't together, and it was a rough divorce and a rough couple years, and I'm grateful that she has a dad that loves her. I'm grateful that I am your family and friends again not again, I have great friends in North Carolina, but like that took a while to establish. I'm grateful to be in the Puget Sound area, to see water and mountains, and I'm grateful. And what I love, if you've never looked up a mountain in a while, and if you're in Washington, you should. It reminds me, oh, actually, let's do the ocean for North Carolina or anywhere in the South or the beach or anywhere. There's nothing that helps me more than looking and viewing a mountain and its majestically, whatever that, you know what I'm saying. And then there, same with the ocean. Oh my God, I love North Carolina Beach, South Carolina Beach too. I love all the beaches. Not the same in Washington, by the way. That reminds me, I am so small in this big world. I am so small in this world that I have gone through hard days before, and I can get through these hard days now. You can get through these hard days now. But these days did not break you. Maybe they're redefining you. Maybe they're polishing you off. And that's where I always go back to my story and why I started the podcast with my story. Not many therapists will open up and tell you their story. We weren't really taught to, in our defense as well, in all of our defenses. But I am a human that have gone through hard things. And that helps me connect with other humans that go through hard things. And I know every worst day behind me is behind me. And there's always another good day ahead of me. And so I encourage you, as you're navigating whatever season you are in, that you challenge yourself. If it's a hard season, and I'm with you, I sit with you, I recognize you, I see it. I just wonder what it's going to do for you after. I wonder what this is teaching you. I know I've learned from every lesson. And I hate viewing like them as lessons as always like the worst thing ever. They do feel like the worst thing ever when you're in it. But if you're questioning your relationship, if you're going through divorce, if you're having to share custody with your kid, and maybe money's really tight, and maybe you haven't experienced this in a long time, if ever. Where can I find joy? Where can I find some type of grounding or stability? A lot of therapists will recommend meditation. I meditate almost nearly every day. It's literally changed my life. And I never thought I would be the therapist that could say that. I find gratitude nearly every single night, even though it was a hard day, even though I've gone through hard things. What am I grateful for today? And because I have a daughter, she's an easy go-to. I love that I get to read her a story, do prayers at night with her, ask her about her day. I'm grateful I have clients that trust me in their work, and that we went through something hard today, and they felt more inspired and even a little bit more healed after session. I'm grateful for my therapist sits with me and watches my testimony and reminds me of who I am. I'm super grateful for my friend's parent that goes, Court, your heart just never changes. I'm grateful that nothing has hardened my heart to the point to where the world sees me differently or I experience the world differently. I'm going to embrace dancing more, even if it's just with my toddler. God, toddler, she's almost 4.5. That's crazy. I've been putting on fun music. If I get stuck, there's a kindergarten line, y'all, that's so freaking long, and it makes the first thing I'm going to do is be mad about it. And it's also, I need to get off earlier and get my daughter there earlier to not do it. But I decided yesterday, to just put on some fun music. My daughter loves Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. We shook it off, we danced, we had fun. She thought it was the most hilarious thing, dancing with me. You can literally shake it off. And maybe that's not your song, find one that is. Find fun, even if it's just for 1 single minute. 1 minute. My favorite, another thing about fall that I love is pumpkin anything, a good cup of coffee. Oh, the movies. I'm a total romantic girl, romantic comedy, like Sleepless in Seattle. gosh, Stepmom. Oh, that's a heartbreaking one. That's a good one. When Harry Met Sally. And then there's so many like good, yummy, You Got Mail, like fall movies. And then we're gonna be hitting Christmas soon. And that's not to scare you. It's just I love Christmas. And I don't know about you, but something I've also want to add in that's what brought me joy is decorating for the seasons. And again, if money's tight, bring it in with like perspective. I've always decorated for holidays, so I really try to reuse things. And I also went on Amazon and bought like these window stickers that were like $5. Me and my daughter decorated our front window, and I got these like little 3D bats like to fold up and put all by my TV. And I think I bought like a $5 mat, like Halloween mat from Target. It's like a cute little ghost one. And I walk up my house and it feels like Halloween, and we love Halloween and decorating in fall. And I know that's small, but it brings me joy. When I walk up to my house, my daughter's excited. Look, Mom, the pumpkins, the witch, all these things. And when she's on the phone with anyone, she's like, did you see our bats? And it just makes me smile. And I know if money's tight, again, those are little things you can do, and they're cheaper ones, like the Dollar Tree. Everything has different things. And maybe it's just walking, getting outside, going on a walk. Remind yourself, at least I can keep moving today. I'm grateful for a body that moves. Today feels like I'm bouncing a lot, but like the things I want to highlight the most is if you're going through hard things or you're in the hard stuff, I see you. And even when we're in those hard things, I think a good secret, a good whisper, a good thing that I want you to leave with is, can I still find joy in today? Even if it was the hardest day. Even if my parent is sick, even if my co-parent and I aren't getting along, even though like money's tight, like fill in whatever you're going through right now. It is hard. Don't compare it, because not only is comparison the thief of all joy, it is the comparison is the thief of all sorrow. But is there any part of today where you can find joy and gratitude? Is there anything that you can let go of? Right now, I am surrendering and trusting that everything's going to be okay. And holding that I am a good person and that you're a good person. And that as long as we do things with love and goodness in our heart, it should be to return tenfold. And if you haven't introduced yourself to a gratitude journal or a meditation or anything, maybe it's time to try something new. And maybe you just notice something. We had these beautiful flowers blooming out of nowhere in our garden and our front yard, not garden, we don't have a garden yet. Stay tuned. I love gardens. And out of nowhere, we had these beautiful purple flowers bloom, and my daughter points them up, and they're beautiful. Maybe it's decorating, maybe it's buying a pumpkin, maybe it's just doing something for yourself at home, or even holding your cup of coffee and just say, I'm really grateful to have a hot cup of coffee today. This is the 10th episode, and I am so honored to be on this journey with you and to share my stories. I can only say I appreciate the feedback I've gotten in the first 9 episodes, and to be seen, even like to be seen and to have people say like that helped. And I'm just so grateful. And I hope like today is my hope is to inspire hope, not to just talk about hard things. We're here to talk about it all. Nothing's off the table. But as we are entering October is just a few days away. Let's look for joy. And even if it's the hardest day ever, is there a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of joy? Can you do that? I'm encouraging myself to do it. I'm challenging myself to meditate every day for 5 to 10 minutes plus, before I walk into my house at the end of the day, because I pick up my daughter and I come home. It's like, what am I grateful for? I love being able to pick up my daughter from school. How cool is that? I had a school bus and never really had a parent available to pick me up. I'm so grateful I get to pick up my daughter from school. I'm grateful for the Mariners. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm so excited. And I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you're on this journey and that you're supportive. And how cool is this? that we're doing the thing and we're recording podcasts and that my story's out there and I'm standing in my truth and owning it for the first time in a long time. And publicly, that's intimidating, but I'm ready to hope that anything bad that has happened to me helps someone next. So thank you for joining me this week. Happy fall, y'all. I am so excited again to be with you on this journey, and as even though as hard as it can get, find joy. Dance it out. And if you ever watch Grey's Anatomy, you know what I'm talking about. Dance it out with your friend, dance it out with your kid, dance it out by yourself. Try to shake it off, like Taylor Swift tells us to. And know that this too shall pass, just like everything else. And a reminder, every hard day, the hardest day you ever had before this day, you've survived. And so can you. And if you need help, insight, you reach out to me. Anyway, thank you. We'll talk soon. Have a great week. See you next time.